Hello, welcome to my blog. I'm a little disheveled. I just got off work, but I felt like filming. I haven't filmed in a while, but I felt like vlogging would be fun because then I can kind of sit down and just film things in parts, do little updates on what I'm reading and whatnot. So, I'm sorry. My cat, I got off work early today and she's very excited that I am home early, so she's very demanding for attention right now. Oh, quiet. You're very demanding, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. So I just recently finished Secrets of the Void. This is by Emma Ham, and this is part of the... I don't think this one had a series name, but it's part of the Whispers of the Deep. This is the last book in the series, or so she says. She said that about the last one, and then she put out this one. Overall, I think it was a pretty good end to the series. This one, it focuses on the main character, who is a clone of one of the past researchers in Protoss, who is, instead of being one of the quiet. What are you doing? What are you doing? She's being antsy. I'm sorry if her tail or her butt comes into view. He's an ancient god, and he's different than the others, and that was real descriptive. He's just different than the others. But this one was really interesting. So they find more research facilities, and they're trying to get the people back up to the surface, because in the first book, the humans kind of had like this cataclysm on the earth, and that's kind of what brought them down into the sea and the water, and why they keep fighting with the I'm sorry, Quiet's crying is making me lose focus. But if you're familiar with the series, you already know. The one thing I didn't really like about this book is like the romance scenes were kind of off-putting, because he's like 1,000-something-year-old god, and you're trying to tell me that he has never seen his genitalia before? What? I know, it's crazy, huh? Like, there were some parts that kind of just made you go, that's a choice. But also, I actually really liked this one because the themes in it were really interesting. Like, since she's a clone, there's a lot of talk about like trying to find yourself, like trying to find what makes you unique, what makes you a person. And then there's also a lot of coming to terms with things and fighting like toxic cycles and the complex feelings of like when a parent passes but they were like toxic or abusive. And it's just really interesting. I kind of feel like the last half of the book really dropped a lot of that theming though. Like the first half of the book was really heavy with it, and it really went a lot into Protoss's past and her past and the trauma that was involved with it. And then it just kind of like towards the end just kind of like forgot about it, because you know it needed to put in the romance scenes. But then it also kind of like, he was building her up through the book and giving her like the choices and freedom to do things that she wasn't allowed to do before with the researchers. But then they tried to like kind of make him like a bad guy towards the end, like he was controlling her, and I just didn't feel like that vibed well. It kind of counteracted the messaging of like the beginning half of the book. And I also feel like the ending was kind of clipped. It didn't really resolve much with like the whole trying to get people back up onto the surface. They're just kind of like, oh yeah, well this is going to be generations and it won't happen in our lifetime. And they just kind of called it good there. And I'm like, oh, But there's also a scene where it referenced to life and like snake people being on the surface. So I'm kind of excited because she just announced a Naga series. So I wonder if those two worlds are gonna tie in with each other. I think that'd be really fun if they did. Um, yeah, I think there's one thing else I didn't like. Oh yeah, that was the epilogue. They were like, oh, this was her best friend, but it was like a character that never really interacted with her at all and was like kind of snooty to her, so it didn't really like hit very well because like this friendship I guess kind of grew off page. They just kind of like randomly brought it up and it's like, yeah, but that wasn't the character they like talked to or anything, so like it just didn't kind of really feel right at all. But yeah, that's kind of my random thoughts about Secrets of the Void. This has really nice art on the inside of it. I'm currently reading, I just started Secondhand Luck, and I'm so excited. I'm on chapter 7 so far, and so far it's been really good. There's something kind of off about some of the sentence structures though. And I'm not sure if it's just like me or if my brain's just not reading it right. But like, I feel like they're just kind of worded a little bit weird. But it's been a while since I've read the first one. So I'm not sure if the first one was like that or not. But this one's really good. This takes place right after the first one where she's trying to find more weavers. Ooh, excuse me. If you haven't read this series, basically the first book, I love this one because it has a really unique magic system. So it's about these mages and what's called spinners and weavers. And basically the magic in this world, when they cast a spell, it makes like a residue. And these, how would you say, the spinners used to take that and then turn it into an energy source that the weavers would then take, and they had these companions called shadows, and they'd give it to the shadows and it would like help make them stronger. And the mages didn't like that. They kind of thought they were like more superior and that these people were evil, and so like thousands of years ago they basically did an inquisition to wipe them all out. And then so the next generations of weavers just got lumped in with spinners because, you know, history like forgot about them and stuff, and they were ostracized and seen as being evil and needed to be wiped out. So like they just kind of got lumped in, and because the mages can cast spells, the spinners and the weavers can't cast magic in the same way that the magi can. So if you couldn't like cast magic, you just got lumped into a spinner. And then in the modern day society, like today's time, these spinners basically get treated as being lesser than the mages. They get seen as being like the trash man, like the waste disposal of like the magic world. And so these shadow companions that were with the weavers were hiding throughout history, and basically, of course, hiding in the shadows because there are shadows. So the main character ends up accidentally coming across and talking to a shadow, and it kind of has like this butterfly effect with her journey and how she finds out that she's not just a spinner, that she's actually a weaver. And this shadow she's communicating with, she's accidentally bonded with, and it's really good. And at the end of the book, she is trying to basically end the persecution or prosecution of the weavers, and she's out trying to find more weavers. And so that's where this book picks up, and it's really good because it talks a lot about like the persecution and like the prejudice of being a weaver, and like, of course, there's always going to be pushback with things. So now that they have a council, there's people that are like separatists and stuff. They don't want to have these weavers. They want them to stay below them. And it's really interesting. And it's really good and kind of sad because it talks about how, like, she's lost friends and stuff now that she's become a weaver, and just like the prejudice around it. So far it's really interesting. But yeah, so that's like my update so far. I will pop back on again whenever I have the time to. Hopefully that'll be soon. So yeah. So I'm about on chapter 15 now. I haven't gone as much read as I wanted to these past couple days. I've been busy trying to get work and stuff done around the apartment for the weekend so I could actually enjoy it. I have gone through quite a few chapters though. They found another weaver, and so they went to go and find her. She was being chased by this other shadow that they initially thought was going to bond with her, but turns out he's a separate shadow and he can't actually bond with other weavers. And this is kind of why he's angry, he's upset, and he's going to end up being one of the main protagonists. I really like where the story is going. Don't know how to word it without like spoiling parts of it, but he interacts with the main character Pedra and kind of changes the way she's able to like work her magic and stuff. And at first she thought he like broke her magic and made it so she couldn't be a weaver anymore, but then when she's talking with Pluck about it, she finds out that she actually seems to have more of like the shadows abilities. She finds out that she can like see things more finer, like the residual magic. She has a conversation with Pluck about how she can see it, and he says that's how he always sees the world. So she's gaining like these more shadow-esque abilities, and it's really cool. And I really like the direction they decided to go in with that. I also really like that they're going more into Pluck's backstory, and they're starting to flesh Pluck out as a character more than just being like Petra's shadow. And they actually do have a part where we get like kind of a glimpse at what the human form of him looked like, so that's really exciting. I also just really like, I mean, it's kind of sad to be like, man, I love the prejudice in this book, but like, I really like how she writes out the character interactions. You really like get a sense of the world and like the characters' struggles and the way their interactions have changed with these other characters. And I really love her interactions with this other weaver that they're trying to convince to stay with them, because you really get her sense of like not just like the hesitancy, but like kind of that fear of admitting what you are, because there's going to be persecution for it. Like, she doesn't want to accept that she is a weaver because her whole life she's been taught that's bad. They've been taught that shadows are evil, and so it's hard for her to want to connect to these shadows and think of this world as her own. And so she does like a really good job of like describing that and writing those character interactions. I've really been enjoying. So that's about where I left off with Secondhand Luck. I just started the audiobook for Once There Was Dragons, or not Once There Was Dragons. Once There Was Heroes, which is the first book in a Time of Dragons series. My brain just kind of like melded the two things together. I'm not sure how I feel about it so far. I left off on chapter 10, and it's of course multiple point of views, which seems to be the trend in like fantasy and sci-fi books lately, and I hate multiple point of views so much. They're so unnecessary, and I feel kind of slighted because I was really into this book. The prologue for it really grabbed my attention. It was really good. And then they started splitting up the points of view, and it started to lose me. Like, they have like differing time points and stuff like that. Like, it'll go to the past, and then it'll jump to the future, and then it'll jump to like all these different characters, and it just kind of makes the story feel disjointed, and it's hard to kind of like latch onto the characters because you're not getting like, not like a full description of them, but you're not following them long enough to like really care about what they're doing. I think that's why I struggle with the multiple point of views so much. Or like, you like that one character, so you like their one point of view and you don't really care about anyone else's. That seems to be how it goes for me, but I think I'm gonna give it a chance still. I think I'll keep reading it. Like, the beginning was really awesome. Like, it starts out with how they were using these inmates, and they were giving them like hope and like a second chance of redemption, because they have like this helmet that they're glimpsing through the future with, but its power is so overwhelming that it kind of just like blows people's minds, like quite literally. So instead of risking their lives, they're using these inmates, and these inmates just think they're gonna go to the king and like beg for his forgiveness, but they're like, no, here's this helmet, and then it just like destroys them. So it's kind of fucked up, but like it's really interesting because they're trying to find these I'm trying to remember what they called them, the Vanguard, I think. They're like these Dragon Rider like heroes, but they're trying to find one person, and they're trying to find them through the glimpses of this helmet. So they have like the high priestesses and stuff, and the king's in this chamber, and these inmates kind of go into like a trance when they're seeing these visions and touching the helmet. So they have like scribes and stuff writing down everything that they're saying, and so it was really interesting. And then they had to split the POVs, but I'm gonna keep giving it a try. It was really good, so I'm gonna stick in there. I'm sure it'll catch up with the other characters. I just gotta keep with it. Another audiobook I started is How to Heal a Griffin. This one is really cute, and I really like this one. This one I think is a middle grade one, but I needed like a quick, soft kind of read to get through. And it's about this girl, and it's based on like Italian Roman folklore, and I really love that. A lot of it's based on like superstition and like good and bad luck, and the Malekio plays like a huge part, which I really love. And if you don't know what the Malekio is, it's another word for the evil eye, which is usually a talisman or charm to kind of keep away the side eye and the bad juju, basically. And her whole family is basically very traditional. They're very into the superstitions. You gotta throw salt over your shoulder, stuff like that kind of thing. And basically in their family tradition, the witches are meant to heal people. They're like, you need to heal people, you need to make salves, and you need to focus on people. But she is very animal oriented. She loves the magical creatures. And the story starts out with her finding this baby griffin and taking it to school with her, and obviously causing chaos. And that's kind of where the story starts. She starts out feeling like, you know, she doesn't fit in or belong. And the story is really about like trying to live up to people's expectations, especially with their family members, because her family is a well-known name, and her brother is popular and famous, so she's struggling to be what people want her to be, especially when she's very obviously not. And it's just really good so far. And of course, her aunt tells her not to, you know, wish for things that you don't want to happen because words have power. And like a Goblin King situation kind of happens where she wishes her brother would disappear. And so he goes out during the storm to try and finish one of his tasks, and of course disappears, and she has to go on a journey to try and find him. And this is one of the most interesting aspects I really like about this book, is kind of the way the magic works with the superstition and stuff. That have like the Malekio witches, and they're kind of like this balance between like good and bad luck. And so they're not like necessarily evil or anything, but if they feel like there's too much good going on, they'll try to balance it out with the bad. And if there's too much bad, then they try to balance it out with the good. And so she's trying to convince these witches to give her her brother back, and then try to figure out why they took him to begin with. And it's really interesting. Like, there's this witch that was hiding in the corner, and she asks her for cheese. And she's like, oh, you gave me cheese, you did a good deed, so now I get to do something good for you. And so it's a really interesting concept, and I really like it. I think I'm about halfway through it. I think I left off on chapter 15, I think. I'm not sure. Let's see, I'm trying to think what else is new. I got some new books. I got the Endless one. This is advanced reader's copy since I am on Emma Ham's Patreon. This is the last book in the series. I did pick up the first one and I'm excited to read it. I really love Emma Ham's writing. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I do want to do a review for this one. It doesn't come out until September, so I do have a while, but it is one that I'm hoping I can pick up soonish, depending on if I'm on the mood for it or not. I haven't really been in the mood for like a romantasy or anything lately, so I'm a mood reader, and if I try to pick up and read something that I'm not in the mood for, it kind of kills my like reading vibe. I don't know. I admire people that can push themselves through like their TBR piles and stuff. I just can't do it. It kind of burns me out on reading and makes me hate my hobby a little bit. I got one of my Kickstarters in. This is the Quiet Light. This one I hope I end up liking. I wasn't sure whether I'd like it or not, but the single book was only like 30 something, so I ended up backing it. It's a cozy fantasy between like an old witch and a dragon, and it just sounded cute. And like the cover and stuff is really nice. Usually I'm not like a huge fan of cozy fantasies. I find them to be a little bit too slow and boring sometimes. I forgot this came with like a postcard and a sticker. Like, I really liked Legends and Lattes, but I feel like that's kind of about it. Oh, there's her thingy, if you're interested in looking it up. And this one ended up being signed. So that's very cool. I don't know when I'll get to this one. I kind of forgot I had backed it until it showed up at my door. But, I don't know. Maybe I'll save it for a rainy day when I just want to, like, cuddle up and read something cozy. But I really like the cover art. It's really cute, especially the dragons in the corner. And then I freaking finally got one of the, God, what is it? The Bookish Shop books. I keep trying to subscribe to them, thinking they've gotten their shit together, but they haven't. I think this was from the Darkly box. And this is the I Accidentally Summoned a Demon Boyfriend by Jessica Cage. And they did her so dirty with this cover. Like, I was so excited for her because she was this little indie author. And I remember she first put this book out on Kickstarter, and I remember backing for the digital copy, so I was excited when I saw this. And they just kind of made the art kind of lackluster. It is cool though, like the inside cover is very shiny and holographic. And the inside page is signed. The hard case is actually pretty cool. I'll give them that. And it did have a reversible jacket, but I'm not like a huge fan of this color scheme. I think I like the just the original one better. I do think the reverse cover is kind of funny because I like how the front starts being carried off and then like the back is his point of view. Maybe I'll flip it around because this is way funner. And there's like nothing suggestive about this. I mean, if you're gonna read a romance, then like just own it. I don't understand why everything needs to be like discreet looking now. But this took them forever. This was supposed to be November's box, and it's March. And I just got this on like March 5th, March 6th, I think. So that's one of the main reasons why I subscribe from them, which is a bummer because like a lot of their books are really nice and stuff, but it just takes them forever to ship out, and they won't like stop putting out collaborations or anything to catch up with their regular subscription boxes. And they do so many collaborations, it's crazy. They have like 20 going right now. And I believe they have like a storefront too, so they have like a physical store going, and I feel like they're just doing too much at once. But I feel like anytime you try to bring it up, people like lose their minds on you and go crazy over it, so I don't know. Oh, I just dropped everything. I don't think anything's damaged, but oh yeah, I got some book plates. I got these vintage unicorn book plates. I love collecting these. I've got like a little mini collection going on. I've been collecting these old Antioch publishing company book plates, and I have like 3-4 sets of them now. I have like a couple with like cats and stuff on them. So these ones I found on Etsy. I've been looking for these ones for a long time, but like people on eBay want like a weird amount of money for them. These ones were still kind of spendy. I think I paid like $30 for them, but it's like a full box of them, so, and they're in perfect condition, so I was like, I don't mind paying a little bit for them. Because they are vintage and hard to find now, but people on eBay will take like, they'll take the box and then they'll take them and separate them, and they'll sell like 5 of them for like $20, and I'm like, that's just dirty. But yeah, so that's been my little catch up. I'll see you guys, I don't know, middle of the week maybe? We'll see. See you next time. lot or not, or if you'd like hearing more about that. But I love audio dramas and podcasts, and I've been listening to quite a few of them on Spotify. I just finished Badlands Cola, and this one was really good. It's basically kind of, I'm sorry if you hear a lot of meowing. My cat's very excited. Oh, hello. You don't usually like getting on camera. Quiet, no one wants to see your butt. Say hello. Say hello. She's got a lot of energy tonight, so you're going to be hearing from her, unfortunately. She's quite loud, which is ironic because her name is Quiet. She used to be so quiet as a kitten. She'd just sneak up on you, and now she's very talkative. Anyway, Badlands Cola is very good. It takes place in these southern states in the desert. And if you like cults and like body horror-esque type stuff, you would love this. It's not necessarily like body horror, but it has like this psychological element with kind of like the earth and like things coming to life instead. And it's so good. Basically, it takes place, like I said, in the southern desert, and the main character is an investigator, and she's trying to figure out this case that evolves around this cult, and it's so good. It takes her to like this little town that's known for like fossils and stuff, and then it turns out this cult, hey you, what the heck? It turns out that this cult is basically trying to find like this ancient artifact that ends up being like a fossil, and of course they find it in this town, and it's really interesting. They have like this motto where it's like, keep digging, you can find it in the dirt, and basically it was to try to get people to basically dig through the dirt to find them this artifact, and then they can manipulate like the earth and stuff with this artifact, and it's really good and it's really interesting. And there's like other mysteries and stuff that go around with this town, and like it has like a liminal space effect where you kind of blip in and out of reality and into different realities and stuff. It's really good. It's really short, which makes me sad, and they said they didn't really want to make another season. They just kind of left it where they did, and they're like, that's the story, and you just kind of got to deal with it. And like, the ending's alright. They wrapped it up well, and they just kind of left it in a spot where they could continue it if they decide they want to, but it is like a completed story. It's really good. And I just started Dirt, which is by Studio 5705. I've been binge listening to this all week. It's really good. It's basically this guy, he lives in Washington State, up in Seattle. He's got like this big business firm, and his grandfather passed away several years prior. And then one day he gets a letter from this late grandfather, and it sends him on like kind of like this quest. It's kind of like what's that movie called with Gerard Butler, where he leaves the letters for his wife to make her like go on this adventure and stuff. P.S. I love you, I think, is that what it's called. It's kind of like that, but it's more of like a treasure hunt. It's kind of inspired by that that rich guy who like put out a treasure and is like, go find it. It's kind of inspired more towards that way, but it's really interesting. I think I really like this the most because not only is like the storyline interesting, and it like like he sends him to these different places to get clues and to figure out where this treasure and stuff is, but you can tell the person making it actually lives in Washington State and mentions cities and stuff that doesn't like ever really get mentioned, and they pronounce all the native names and stuff right, and it's just really nice and a really big refresher. Usually stories take place in Seattle and Seattle only because they don't know anything about Washington, and then when they do try to like mention other cities, they always pronounce it wrong. So I love the care that like went into this story. It's very detailed with cities, like really little cities that do exist and you would never think would ever get mentioned, and then they mention them in the respective counties and everything. It's just so nice. It really feels like a love letter to Washington State. So I love the care and effort that went into it. But yeah, that's about it for now. I've caught up a little bit on my book, and hopefully I'll be able to finish that and catch up on it soon. But yeah, I'll see you guys later for now. Hello. I'm sorry. I wasn't planning to do that, but my throat got super dry as soon as I hit the record button, so I had to drink something. But yeah, I finally finished Secondhand Luck. It was so good. It was everything I was hoping it would be. Usually the second books in a series are always like really slow and they're kind of like a drag to get through, but this one was definitely action packed and kept me enthralled through the whole thing, and it left off on a good note. It's usually the endings that always worry me the most. I felt like it was kind of rushed, but at the same time it kind of makes sense to rush it a little bit more, because I do feel like some of the aspects of thoughts got dragged out a little bit. I like the way it ended. It wrapped everything up in the story pretty well. It kept like a self-sustained story, but it kind of left off open-ended as well. That way, if she decides to make another book, she can, and I hope she does. I love this world and series. I love how unique the magic system is. Well, hello. What are you doing? Are you harassing Anba? Yeah. You may or may not see my wily cat. I just got home from work and she always gets super wound up when I get home. She gets very excited. Yeah. Yeah. What are you doing? Her tail, I swear, is its own entity. It's so long. And every time I pet her, she always ends up getting whipped with it. Ah, Baba! No. She's trying to run off with my keychains. I got, I love Hat Atelier. I got like this little bugbear how do you say it? Carbonire? Not carbonire. Anyway, those little clippy thingies. And the new trend in the anime community is to put extra holes on them, so you can get your extra keychains. I love this one, a Queefree. So cool. Found these from an artist. They're fan made. I will link her shop below, but I love these clips, and you can just do this, and so you can clip on extra keychains, and I love that. She also had this beautiful print that Quiet is laying on. So rude. So rude. Can I see that, please? Yeah. She's in a playful mood. This print of Queefree, which is so pretty and shiny. I love the manga so much. They just came out with the anime, but I haven't gotten around to watching it yet, which I'm so excited that this is getting more popularity. It is such an underrated gem of a manga. It has that very like whimsical-esque type of fantasy to it that I absolutely love, and it feels like nobody makes anymore. I feel like everything is isekai now, and it sucks. Not to like hate on it if you like isekai, but I feel like that's what the market is overrun with now. Put this back. Haven't gotten a frame for it yet. I also got, much to my husband's dismay, I love with the new Resident Evil Requiem coming out, that it has revitalized the fan base, and old favorites are still a thing. And I found this artist, and I absolutely loved their prints. And I had to get this Leon one, which is so cool, and it's in such good quality. Like, the paper they picked is this nice thick cardstock, but I also love the print quality. It's nice and sharp. But this is not the one my husband hates. No, 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 no. This one, this is the one I'm going to put in a frame, and I'm going to put it right across from the bed, and he has to wake up and see it every morning. Because he really hates Wesker. He hates Wesker so much, but I just love this print. I love how he's sitting there. I love how cocky he is. It's very fitting for his character. I just thought it's funny. Like, back when Resident Evil 5 came out, the one character in boss battle that did us in was Wesker because of all the button mashing. Apparently they did, God, what was it? It's like a remaster or a remake, and they took out all the button mashing, and now I feel like we gotta replay the game now that we don't have to deal with the button mashing. But oh, it was so bad. We were like, we couldn't mash the buttons fast enough, and we were taking like spoons and stuff and like roughing it across the controller trying to beat Wesker. So yeah, that's a fun time. It forever ruined Wesker for him. You cannot see a single picture of Wesker without freaking out. I will also link that artist if you are interested in those. A lot of them are on Etsy. I love buying fan art and fan stuff. It's been a while since I bought any. I haven't had the time or money to go to any like conventions or anything lately, so I had to get my fix on Etsy. But yeah, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about the book. I think I will do a more in-depth review on this one, like a separate one. I'm going to be starting Yarick, however you like to pronounce it. I'm going to be starting this next, now that GW announced that they are coming out with a new model for him and a whole new Armageddon campaign. I feel like it is time to bring out Yarick. And I have had this sitting in my book pile, I want to say, for like a year and a half now. So I think it's time. I think we're going to have a month of Yarick. We're going to read this. It has his main first book, the second book, and a bunch of short stories and anthologies, so we're going to be going through that. And I also have his old school model that I think would be super fun to film and paint, and yeah, it'll be interesting. But that wraps up this vlog. I know in retrospect it's a bit short, but I just haven't really had the time to go and do anything fun or like really film anything fun. So hopefully with the weather starting to get nice and stuff now, maybe we can go check out the little free libraries in town. I haven't been to the bookstore in a while, so hopefully we can do that sometime. And let me know if you like this vloggy type of video. It's kind of nice to just sit here and like thought dump instead of trying to do like a review or a monthly wrap up, trying to remember everything I read and every thought and opinion that I've had on them. I want to try and get better at filming this year, but hopefully these vlogs help with that. So yeah, as always, let me know what you guys think in the comments below.